Hello and welcome back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode 160. I'm Jake Twitchin, and today we're talking about some Nintendo bullshit with my dumpy boy. What's going on, homie?
Brother, look at us. Hey, can I just say it? Can I just say it? Look at us.
I know.
Just fucking
Look at us.
Who up Walton their goggles right now.
Yeah, she gogging on my goggles till I glasses, I think, maybe. I'm not positive. Jay, listen. This podcast brought to you by Walton Goggins goggle glasses.
Right.
2 pairs supplied for me and my dumpster boy. Dude, I love these things so much. These have been my daily driver since I got them in December, and you just got your pair. So I said, it's a JakeDumpin episode. Let's don the goggles. Doesn't that just make sense to you?
It does make sense to me. And let me tell you, Jake, this is something that, like, I've been insulted by the way I look wearing these, and that upsets me because one,
they don't understand.
These are fucking, this is fucking fashion. 2, look at this. You see this bar right here? Let me take this off. Like, I do have hair, guys. I do have hair.
Impressive.
See this bar right here? This is something that lacks on my normal glasses. So light, when it comes down because of my photophobia, blocks. I don't get any light rays down. And so because of that, these are actually much more comfortable on me and better for my health, I think.
Dude, that's the initial pitch, because I reached out to them because I liked these things in December, and then you were telling me what was going on with you, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I reached out to them, and I was like, you guys wouldn't believe the story that I have for you. Like, look at this product, and then let me tell you about, I believe I described you as my sickly buddy, which I think is something that should stick.
Well, I mean, the truth is it's not inaccurate, and
correct.
It's something I've been going back to therapy to kind of deal with the health issues, and part of it has just been like accepting my limits as a human being, and part of that, I think, Jake, is also accepting that I don't have the energy in me to play games that are longer than 5 hours anymore. So, like, not only I've accepted that I'm ill, I've accepted that it's not getting any better. And that's okay because I look fucking cool in sunglasses.
Correct.
These block out the rays, and I can come onto a podcast with you to talk about video games, to scream about capitalism, and to probably get lost on some tangent where we like forget that we're on a podcast and we're just 2 fucking dudes jawing it up.
Jawing it up. I couldn't have put it better myself. I wouldn't have it any other way, because of course we have a whole lot of video game stuff to talk about. This is the Spotlight Games podcast, where each week we spotlight the latest and greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod, or by searching Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's now on twitch.tv/spotlightgamespod. That's here. So be sure to follow us there so you're notified when we're going live. That's all I have for housekeeping, man. I don't want to go on for forever and ever. I just want to kind of chum it up with you.
You know,
that's what I like
Jake,
most about this.
Has anyone ever told you that you have, like, if you could have easily become like a radio jockey?
You know, I have heard that since I started creating content, and I think especially it's worth noting for audio listeners if I sound better or different, I guess, for this episode. This is my 3rd episode of Spotlight that I'm guest hosting, but I wonder if it's just because of this microphone.
No, I think it's your cadence. The way that you deliver certain words and your enunciations and like how you put like emphasis on certain nouns is a beautiful thing. It's actually genuinely impressive to watch, because I sound like a blender full of marbles half the time.
I disagree. But if you're fishing for compliments, why don't you pull out that cock and let me take a little peek? I'll fucking shower. I'll shower you with compliments.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins goggle condoms is what we need Who's up?
Sponsored by.
Bring them on. Bring them on. We love to see it. But shout out to them for hooking it up with a couple pairs of the goggle glasses. Very, very dope. And I figured you and I could just kind of kick it today. The idea of the show today is we've done extensive coverage on Nintendo for these last 2 weeks.
Right.
There's still more coming up. Like next week's episode of Drop In Drop Out is going to be probably Mario Kart centric because that Mario Kart Direct is happening earlier in the day. So we'll probably talk a lot about that. And then the last 2 weeks of content have been very predictions and then results and recaps and opinions. And there's so much to talk about. But truthfully, I feel like this is a great way to kind of put a bow on the conversation for everything that's happened since the Nintendo Direct. Because like most people in the content creation world, everyone took their shot the night that the Nintendo Direct happened. They were like, all right, let's get on there and recap everything. And everyone talked about the same things. But since then, there have been multiple interviews, multiple hands-on previews of Switch 2 and the games. And I've got a list of 20 additional details that we're going to roll through today that were not featured in the Nintendo Direct or even in a lot of the day's events, if you will, that were following where they started to clarify things. There's some more things that have come to light. So we'll have some interesting topics to go through, without a doubt, which is, I think, exciting because they're the things that were less talked about on podcasts as a whole. So taking our time getting to this on Spotlight Games, I think we made the right move. But of course, we'll start by talking about what we've been playing. Cayman, what have you been playing?
Dude, I have been all over the place trying to figure out what I want to play. I don't know if I brought this up on the last episode. Maybe I did. Honestly, can't remember anything anymore. Still chugging along through Mafia. I am on the last mission of Mafia Definitive Edition. My plan is to catch up to Mafia the Old World, which comes out later this year. So my plan was try to get through all of them. I've had due to some health issues, I think we brought up. If you the Unholy stream didn't go Sunday because of some health things, it's back on the plan. We're going to start promoting it, actually doing a big push to try to get everyone involved. So, haven't been playing a ton. That being said, I did platinum a game called Exit Slum 11. And you might have heard these types of games where it's like you're supposed to do loops and figure out anomalies or figure out if something's different or something's weird and you're supposed to report it. Here's the thing. I've played 4 or 5 of them at this point. None of them have been good.
Right.
So I don't know if that's going to change in the future. I feel like that's a novel concept that someone's going to do right. And
interesting.
And when it's going to pop off, it's going to pop off in a way. But as of right now, I feel a lot of people I think are cashing in because you can make it on a really, really cheap and put it up for 99 cents with an easy platinum. Call it a day, make some scratch. Someone's going to do it the right way and make a really cool game. And so I keep trying them because I feel like one day there will. That being said, I do feel like, Jake, I think we should talk about another one of another sponsor post. I got the code for Hidden Cat Outlaws by the developer Sleepwalking Potatoes. And if you know anything about me, Jake, is that I am an absolute fucking fiend, disgusting slob for hidden cat games and cats about or games about cats that are hidden. Whether it's a castle full of cats, whether it's all of the hidden cat games, whether it's Hidden Cat Outlaws, if you do a Where's Waldo with a fucking cat, I am sniffing at it I get it. There's cat in heat, but I think that's really the only sniffing around like a cat in heat. You know,
it's a good cat in heat noise. Can we get that one more time?
Yeah. But here's the thing. That honestly sounds exactly like the cats in this game. When you find them, then you click them, it meows, and there's just the worst cat meows. And the cats are all mangy as shit, which makes it even funnier. There is a humor here. And this is the thing. I'll have a short form video up that'll be posted on YouTube. Maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Well, I guess when it depends on when I get done editing it.
Sure.
But I say, look, this is the perfect game to blaze the garden and just vibe out for a couple hours. I stand by
Mm-hmm.
this, and the Hidden Cat Outlaws no different. It might not be as polished, I think, in some regards as like the standard Hidden Cat games, but it's
Sure.
a good time. I think right now it's like $4.99 or $5.99 on Steam. I'm not sure if there's any plans for it to come to consoles, but it is a budget title. You'll get a few hours out of it maybe. But like I said, just get like you know, and then just
Yeah,
right in there and whoosh, and then you're good. So
for sure.
yeah,
No, that sounds absolutely perfect. Very cool. Two dumpster dives, 2 wins. It sounds
right.
like.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What could be better? Now, listen, I'm not playing a dumpster dive. I don't know. Well, talk to me. How would like a retro? If I buy a game for less than $20 on eBay, is it a dumpster dive?
I think that's a different type of dumpster dive. I think that
Okay.
that's like
Yeah.
a more traditional dumpster dive in the sense of like finding a literal piece of media inside
Right.
of a dumpster such as eBay. Because let's be
Right.
honest, speaking of such, I'm sorry, I don't want to derail, but
Oh.
okay, I was somehow become privy to the information that there's a Tekken 2 movie.
Oh, really?
And I found this out because it popped up on I got like an advert that was like eBay, Tekken 2 on
Oh,
Blu-ray. And I was like, what in the flying shit? Sure enough, there
yeah.
was a sequel to the critically maligned Tekken film.
Yeah. That's
So,
crazy. Now you watched the first, but not the second.
no, so here's the thing, it's out of print and it's very hard to come
Oh,
across. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get on eBay or I'm gonna have
right.
to go through Macari, which apparently that's the new thing the youth these
Oh,
days
yeah. I've
use.
heard of this. I've heard of this. This is an app for buying used things, I believe. Yes.
Right, right. It seems like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like a blend between eBay and Etsy. I'm not sure, but Tekken 2 is out there right now. If you in the audience, listener at
Yeah.
home, have a copy of this, just
Sure.
mail it to me because one, you don't need it. I
Correct.
do. I need it. Look behind me.
Yeah.
There's a copy of Tekken here missing its brother and or sister.
Well, yeah. And or
So
Tekken 3 movie? When? Stay
when
tuned.
yeah, fucking hopefully never. Tell me, Jake, was your physical media purchase from eBay that you made?
I picked up NBA Street for the PlayStation
Oh,
2.
brother.
Uh-huh.
Greatest
Uh-huh.
sports game of all
And
time.
it might be the greatest sports game of all time. It's definitely the best well, I gotta play NBA Street Volume 2 again because I do remember NBA Street Volume 2 even more fondly. But I remember that NBA Street Volume 2 was just iterative on NBA Street
Correct.
Volume 1. But
Yes.
3 starts to fuck with things, and home court's not as good, and
Right.
there's a whole bunch of stuff. But my goal is I am really excited to play through all of the Street games. I want to do 1 through 3 of NBA Street, NFL Street, FIFA Street, and then get to like NFL Street, NBA Street, like home court, and some of that. I think there's like some ESP spin-offs you might check out too. But starting off strong with the original NBA Street, and oh my god, does this game hold up? Like I can't believe EA hates money as much as they do.
Correct.
Like, why do these not exist anymore? How is there not like even take the licensing out and put in like dummy characters and put this on like PSN for $20 with online play? You'll
So
sell 3 billion copies. I
they
just don't
kind of
understand.
did. They kind of did with what was that football game? The one with Colin Kaepernick. Wild card football.
Oh,
Was that
yeah,
EA?
that's
I
no
want to
good.
say, yeah, that
I don't
wasn't.
remember. There were
I
a
don't think
couple
it's. Yeah.
tries. There was NFL Tour. Do you remember this game back in
Oh
like probably I
no.
want to say 2013 or something like that, maybe earlier. It was an Xbox Live arcade game where they tried to do that. And there was like NHL hockey 3-on-3. They've tried to get these arcade sports games going a couple times, but goddamn, it just
Right.
never quite hits the same. But I'm playing NBA Street, and I'm playing through the entire career mode where you play through divisions and then take on like the street legends and unlock characters. And I
Ooh,
made a
yeah.
character myself. Her name is Sweet Pea. She's minimum height but maximum dunks, maximum 3-pointers, and can't
I
do
love it.
anything else efficiently. It's absolutely insane. The game holds up in such like I'm a hyperbolic person. This is a 10 out of 10 video game, and that's no hyperbole. I adore it.
I love
Hey,
this, Jake.
a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to put on the interviewer hat
Oh,
for a
sure.
second,
I love
if you
this.
don't mind. So,
Oh, I love this. Right. You
interviewer
have to turn
hat.
your hat backwards,
Yeah,
audio
guys. So now
listeners.
you know that there's a difference between me, well,
Yep.
the interviewer me, and then the other
Right.
version of me, the probably
Right. This
more
is Dumpster
handsome
Man.
version. This is Dumpster Man, the Larry King of the trash. Jake, tell me. I'm gonna do my best. Jiminy, what was the guy's name? Oh fuck,
Jiminy Glick, I believe, is who you're
Jiminy Glick.
referring to.
Yo, he kicks
Don't
his
worry.
legs up. He like puts his legs up like all over the thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
falls out of his chair. That's gonna be me.
It's
I'm gonna
good.
do that. You know, I used to interview in a former life on STC. We used to do a lot of interviews, so I'm good at this. Are you ready? I've never acted
I
this
love it.
unprofessional in an interview.
That's okay.
I've talked about cum a lot on one, but
Sure.
different story.
What was
So
the
Jake,
context there?
Gwilliam. I interviewed the director, creator of Gwilliam. If you don't know what Gwilliam
Sure.
is, go to YouTube, type in Gwilliam, just watch it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
guy Brian Lonado, and then go listen to the STC episode because it's fucking hysterical. Okay, so Jacob, tell me, when you are getting ready for your week of content creation, I've noticed time before that you post calendars, like so you plan in advance to some degree. Tell me about how you do this, because I want to kind of circle into learning a little bit more about how you end up getting into a situation where you play NBA Street for like you end up
Yeah.
purchasing a copy online. So tell me how we got here.
I fancy myself a bit of a video game historian. I've been through, I have a pretty encyclopedic knowledge of like a couple generations full of games, like
Yes.
basically from like the PS1, Nintendo 64 era up until now. I feel like I'm hard pressed outside of like the rise of indie games and like kind of your sphere of stuff. Anything with like a marketing budget, I've pretty much heard of, even if it's a very small marketing budget, especially when you're talking about like the 360 generation, the generation before that, PS2, Xbox, GameCube. Worked at GameStop for a long time, saw a lot of cover arts, played a lot of things that I wouldn't otherwise played if I didn't have to buy them, type of thing.
Mhm.
And because of that, I think that my like community on Twitch is very talk about the games of yesteryear. Hey Jake, you ever heard of this game? You ever heard of this game? And we kind of end up down like rabbit holes and tangents. So I have like a working document where some things will come up multiple times. I'm like, let's add that to the docket. So behind the scenes, I'm always kind of taking notes. And then sometimes we act on things more quickly than others. So NBA Street was purchased off of like a conversation that we had like three and a half weeks ago, probably on stream, just talking about how good those street games are. And then me just saying, we should play every NBA Street game. Hold on, I'm going to order NBA Street to my house. And then right when I got back here, it was just sitting here waiting for me. But I also say, like, when you look at my calendar thing, it's not technically a calendar. It's just a bunch of like ideas thrown on a pretty document where I don't have like a date. Like, you can't catch me going live on fucking Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I always just say like, I stream most days, sometimes during the day and sometimes at night, and you never know what I'm doing. I think the most important thing about content creation is if you take it too seriously, it can become a bit too much of a job, and you kind of feel like, geez, now I got to do this, that, and the other thing. There's like, oh shit, I said I was gonna play fucking Baldur's Gate 3 today at 7:30, but I'm really not feeling it. What I really want to leave myself open to is the ability to either say, fuck it, I'm not streaming Baldur's Gate 3, I'm playing Snood on my PC. Or I would go like, all right, well, I'm not feeling going live right now. I'm going to take a nap and then go live at 10:30 and say what up to whoever shows up, type of thing. So that kind of protects things. And there's nothing wrong with taking it seriously and sticking to a schedule. That's just not my style.
I love that. I'm gonna give you one. The way that we used to wrap every interview with Save Trash Cinema is I would ask the participant on the episode with us. I would say, what if you could save one piece? Like if you could save one piece of cinema, trash cinema, what would you save? Obviously, this isn't Save Trash Cinema. This is Spotlight Game. So, Jake, of your years doing this, what is the one game, if you can just pick one from the list, that you would say, like, I was genuinely shocked by how good this game is, like, playing today? So, like, what is one game that you have played that has just been like, if you could be like, audience, if you were going to break out your dusty ass PlayStation 2, PlayStation, whatever, right? And you're going to pick one game up off of eBay, what would that game that you would tell the audience? What would you say? Go buy this on eBay and buy the accompanying console that you need to play it on.
I want to give like an answer that is like I want to tell people about a game that has been treated unfairly over the years.
Okay.
And that game is Balan Wonderworld. Do you know this video game?
No, sir. Don't do this joke. Don't do this fucking joke.
This isn't a joke. I played through Balan Wonderworld. The problem with that game is that it sucks. It does suck. It's not good. But it's not fucking awful. That game got like a 3 out of 10 from IGN, which I think is just mean-spirited. I don't know why the entire community was like, we need something to beat up on, and they all started jumping in on Balan Wonderworld. It's weird. It's not great. It's way bigger. That game is fucking massive. There's like 100 levels or some shit. There's so much going on in that game. Yeah. There's a lot of good ideas. I must say, the game is like, if I had to rate that game, I'd give it like a 6, maybe. Like, it feels like a 6. Maybe it's a 5.5. I don't know. But the people that were giving it 2s and 3s and being like it's the worst game ever made are fucking foolish.
So Balan Wonderland. That's the game that you chose to go with. Balan Wonderworld. Balan Wonderworld. God, see,
Balan Wonderworld. And
it's on PlayStation Plus right now, catalog, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Or maybe it was actually through PlayStation Plus as well. So like maybe all of us have a copy on our PlayStation 5s right now, not realizing.
Entirely possible.
So, you know what? There's always a chance. Jake, if I can find the energy, and that probably is not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah. I'll go through. I'll read through a trophy guide. Maybe one day.
It's so long. The problem with that game is it's so big, dude. I don't want to put you through it. Right. It's a great game. You were telling me that like you only have it in you to like play a game that's like 5 hours long. I think what you should normalize, you're a completionist, and you're, as my sickly buddy in your current state, I think you should normalize playing the first 5 hours of a game and not being committed to finishing it. You know? Cut yourself a little bit of slack sometimes too. Don't always have to play. A, you don't have to beat every game you play, and B, don't limit yourself to the games that you can complete.
Yeah, you know, that's fair. It doesn't look that difficult. It's only 40 hours, and I haven't. One day I'll get around to playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and like I will platinum that because that is something that I will put the time towards. 40 hours for this game. If it's bad, and here's my problem with things like this. And I know we're getting sidetracked again, but we own this show. No one can tell us what we can and can't do. That my issue is that if a game's not good, I will not put the time towards. If it's like 2 hours long, whatever, I don't give a shit. Janky as fuck, I'll do it. I put way too much time towards Scrat's Nutty Adventure, only for the game to lock me out of the trophy because of just how bad and poorly designed.
Have you tried? Is there a way around that? Anything yet? Can you reload a save? Can you delete it and reopen it or anything like that?
The entire thing, start a brand new save file, and then try to go through a brand new save file. Hope it doesn't happen again.
How deep into it does that happen?
You have to 100% the game. So the thing is, here's the truth, and I don't know if you know this, but to get some of the collectibles, you have to learn how to do a special move that the game doesn't tell you. Which is a really fascinating concept. You're supposed to run, dive, jump, and then hit the spin. So you can extend out a jump an extra like 2 cycles worth. So it breaks the fucking game. And they don't tell you about it. So I'm like, well, shit. And you don't really even figure this out until you start, unless you either figure it out like randomly, or if you start like trying to get the collectibles and you're like, there's no way to make this jump. And then someone online's like, hey, it's because you got to do this move they don't tell you about. Oh, by the way, we're done with our interview. Unless you had another game you wanted to talk about.
No. Okay. No. Balan Wonderworld all day.
So, well, Jake, thank you for participating in that. Video games need to be good to be platinum. That's, I think, one rule we can all live by. And anything else you've been playing? I feel like I might have cut you off. So I'm sorry.
No, no, no. NBA Street. That's a wrap on NBA Street. I liked your question a lot. That'll get me in my fucking Duffy to keep it popping in the content creation world. I love having those conversations. I'm just like my brain is going right now because dude, Scratch Nutty's Adventure was so much fun to stream, and I get that maybe completing it wasn't fun, but I love tech like that too. The first thing that I'm thinking of. Dude, I am going to get everybody to play Jack and Daxter, and it's going to be the best content that we ever make because Jack and Daxter has the same thing. I don't think they tell you about it, where you have a jump and a double jump and a long jump, but then you also have like your spin attack that's kind of like Crash Bandicoot's, like
Right.
you know the sound. You can envision the sound, but it
Yeah.
does that same thing where it kind of gives you a little bit of like extra lift, so you can
Right.
double jump, and it's not quite a triple jump, but if you hit that spin, you kind of extend a little bit. You get that little weight lifted, and it's so satisfying to just barely make a platforming jump like that. Oh,
That's the only reason Scrat's Nutty Adventure gives like there's points where I'm like, maybe I'll go back and do it again for the
sure.
platinum is because now that I know that trick, I'm just breaking that game to shit and back is going to be so easy.
Yeah, that is
So it
fun.
feels worth doing. Yeah.
That's a fun.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to do it. Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
You want to get into
Love it.
our main topic today?
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 leftovers, and I have
Oof.
compiled a list. I've compiled a list, and I've checked it once. I want to just run through. Think about these like I almost want to run this like it is the Spotlight section of Spotlight games,
Okay.
where let's just go through each of these headlines and have the conversation on them individually and see where interest takes us. You know, it could be I read the headline and then we go, okay. There's one. Fuck, I really should have checked it through with you or with Patrick. We'll talk about it. We're gonna have a spoiler, a massive like spoiler / leak warning, maybe at one of these that I would love
Right.
to talk about. And if you say no, we skip it. All
Okay.
right, because that's your prerogative, and everybody else gets the same opportunity to skip ahead on that. If they so desire, I'll timestamp that accordingly, and I'll give you a verbal warning. Audio and video listeners, that will be in the YouTube comments as well, or YouTube description as well as your podcast description. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. P-Swag's on it, and Uncle JT is going to take great care of you. So let's talk about how are you on spoilers normally?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nintendo Switch naming conventions. You were very passionate about the Super Nintendo Switch. Did you
Right.
hear Nintendo's comments on why they didn't call it the Super Nintendo Switch?
They were like, we didn't want it to. What was it they said? Something really. The reasoning was really dumb. They didn't want people to think of it as like
Yeah.
such a small leap between the NES and the SNES or
No.
something. What was the exact
Yes. Okay, you're almost on it. So it's basically the Super Nintendo was called the Super Nintendo to emphasize the fact that this was a brand new system that was not compatible with your Nintendo. This was a Super Nintendo only thing, which I actually don't hate the mentality on. Where if they were going all the way away from it and there was no backwards compatibility, maybe. But they called it the Super Nintendo Switch if it didn't play Switch 1 games. So I kind of see it.
Who in their right mind would make that connection? Like even subconsciously, it would make me more so think like if you're like, this is the Super Nintendo Switch, then I'm going to be like, oh, it's just a much bigger and better. So if you were to tell me like, no, we want you to think that this is a bigger, better console, that's why we didn't call it the Switch, then like change it, make it feel more like a logical leap. Like the Super Nintendo Switch just feels like just a better name. And I don't, Switch 2 it's fucking boring.
It's the safest move in a post Wii U world.
Yeah.
It's the only defense I'll give them.
Like the Wii U,
I got another one for you.
Like the Wii U though wasn't like maybe that honestly, I think they're just a bunch of lying cowards. They're afraid that they would have another Wii U on their hands.
Correct. What reason to be terrified? They've had a couple Wii U's on their hands,
Right.
which is tough. How about this one? The bright red carts for the Nintendo Switch 2 will still taste disgusting. Have you ever tasted one of those things?
You know what? I've got a whole. I like physical media only for my Switch. I
Sure.
feel like that it's one of those because of the fact that like you can't. I always like to share my games and stuff with my friends, and with the Switch, it's one of those where like I feel like that's a one that I like to have. That also takes up less, space in the memory and whatnot to have like,
Sure, definitely.
on a cartridge anyway. So, I do that, but I've never licked one.
Right. I was able to convince Jerica Kayla and Patrick Schweigert of the Spotlight Games podcast to lick the cartridge with me last week, and let me tell you, they are fucking disgusting.
I mean, I might be able to pull off
Disgusting.
calling my wife, having her bring me one and licking it now.
I am not opposed to this idea whatsoever.
I'll shoot her a text message. She's currently
You see if we can make it happen. No worries. If we can't,
Let's see.
I will rattle this one off for you, which is related. All right. Nintendo Switch 2 edition games are rumored to be, this one's not confirmed, but we haven't seen these things. They're going to be Nintendo Switch 1 carts that could go into a Nintendo Switch 1 and be played with a digital voucher for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition DLC that will be added to it. So it'll come in its shiny red packaging, then you'll put that little gray cart in there, and then you'll get your, fucking phone map for Tears of the Kingdom or your crystal levels for Kirby. Do you like this?
Silly as fuck. But
Silly
it's Nintendo, and they made the Labo, so I'm not really expecting much.
So true. So true. Okay, I got one for you. The Nintendo Switch 2 can already be seen in the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto. You can get a nice up close and personal look at that system right away behind the glass.
One thing we have to give credit where credit's due is to Nintendo is that they really just fucking play by their own rules in so many weird ways. And like, as much as I hate the anti-consumer part, I do love just the self or just the masturbatory nature of how they approach literally everything.
Yeah, it is nice. As a frequent masturbator myself, I must say, I got to appreciate it. All right. I see High Score Weekly in the chat says, love the shades. Now that's what I'm talking about. And shout out to our live chat today. I see Bama. I see Nolan. I see Treehorn. I see Swanky. I see Shaniel. I see Uncle Altair. I see Coal Mines, and I even see our own GWT Maury hanging out. What a squad. What a squad. I got more Switch headlines for you. Tell me that you're excited.
Oh, brother, I'm so geared up.
The Nintendo Switch camera that you're going to use with your Nintendo Switch chat functionality that we'll never use is 1080p. The Slick Piranha Plant one, 480p.
Okay.
What year is it? It's so crazy.
The question is do we drop to 720p if you stick it up your ass?
No, I think it maintains its high definition.
maintains its high definition. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you. My lovely wife is bringing me
some
Switch games. What do we got?
Yes.
Here's what we got. We got an empty Kirby case. So
all right.
Not gonna help. All right, we're gonna open the actual case. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
We're good. We're good. Hold on. Let's see. No, I think I closed it. Let's see. We got games. All right.
Don't worry for audio listeners. That zipper was the case and not his pants.
We don't know what the game is. So I am going to do just a random poll, and we're going to lick a random game. And I'm feeling this one right here. And I feel like this is apropos. We're going to lick Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Ooh.
We're going to lick it. See how bad it tastes. Oh my fucking God!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Way worse than you thought, right?
No, that's like alcohol straight out of a prostitute's ass.
Yeah. That I said the exact same thing. Like moonshine, straight out of the hole.
Yeah, my tip
Crazy.
of my tongue is now. I might die. I think
It stays with you. Yeah, get some drink in you. I'll get you the next headline. What do you think about that? All right, I see a thumbs up there. Hollow Knight Silk Song, that is still confirmed to be coming this year as of the Nintendo Direct, will also be coming to the Nintendo Switch 1.
Okay, I mean,
worries.
I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked by that.
No, I don't think so. And I got a related one for you.
Yeah.
For those that think the Nintendo Switch 2's price is too high, rest assured Nintendo will be supporting the Nintendo Switch 1 for the foreseeable future. So don't you worry if you can't get a Switch 2. You can just play your Switch 1. That's the comment. That's the official line. Don't worry. What do you think about that?
It's funny. The question is, do we know is like is Donkey Kong's Big Ball Bananza?
No.
Not Switch 1. So are we really supporting Switch 1 that much? The FOMO part here. The FOMO part here is if you were to be like, yeah, here's the thing. You can't play Horizon Forbidden West on the PlayStation 4. Then I'd be like, yeah, that's you know, and obviously the place to play it is the Nintendo Switch 2. So it is kind of like I understand why you wouldn't put it on the Nintendo Switch 1. I'm not upset by that. I think it's one of those things. It is insulting because I think the truth is we as humans and adults here need to be realistic with each other. Don't fucking tell me that we're hey, you're poor, or hey, you're poor, or we're not going to be able to give you just for like limitations on production or whatever. That like you're not going to get this. Just be like, hey, here's the thing, we're going to still be putting stuff out, but like the place to be is Nintendo Switch 2. We're just going to say it.
Yep.
Just be fucking
I think you're
honest with me, you know?
Or
I hate it when they try to make me feel better.
As my queen Pokimane says, if you a broke boy, just say so, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like look, man. Fucking do it.
Let's talk about supply. Now this is kind of just an off-cuff thing. They're not willing to talk about numbers or anything like that, but they are hoping that they will have the supply to meet the initial demand up front for the Nintendo Switch 2. So the scarcity or false scarcity or whatever the situation was with the consoles of yesteryear are hopefully solved during the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, which I like. I like that.
That should be accurate. I think we're still going to run into some degree. We're still going to run into bots and scalpers and things like that.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, and maybe this comes up later in these stories, but like at a certain point, do we think like maybe the reason they're being so like cavalier about this is because there's a chance the US launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be delayed?
They are pretty firm on that not being the case. Like, okay. I think we're good. I just think that there's a chance the price goes up.
Or is that the other
significantly
side of the coin is we're not worried about demand because your president hates you so much. He wants you to be infinitely poor.
So I've also heard some rumors. Again, this is unsubstantiated. I don't know. This is some fucking 4chan shit, I think. But I've heard that there are a lot of Switches that are already imported. A lot of Switch 2s that are already good to go. And that on US soil right now, there are boxed and ready for retail Nintendo Switch 2s that are largely, well, I guess at this point, unaffected by the tariffs because the product has already made its way over here. So there is cause for concern on like, what do we do with these ones that we could technically sell for cheaper, but then the other ones come out and they're what, $200 more? Like, who do we fuck here? And the answer is the consumer.
You're the consumer. And this is I know I screamed and yelled about this, and probably not as much as Maury did. I feel like I was more reserved in that regard. I'll let Maury have his piece, but I'll have mine today, which is Nintendo doesn't like you. Sony doesn't like you. Microsoft doesn't like you. Shit, your own parents probably don't even like you. That's
So
just
true.
the way the world works. We need to
Mhm.
we need to recognize that. And I know that you said, hey, they're not your uncle, so they're not going to
Mhm.
throw you a bone. Your uncle would throw you an actual bone, which is a different story, and
Probably.
you should go to the cops about that.
Yeah.
The thing here, and this is what gets me, is that Nintendo will not do the right thing.
Mhm.
So they're just going to charge you more, and they're going to make a shit ton of fucking profit.
I think you're probably right. I honestly think that's probably where we land,
Here's the thing.
is they figure out what it should be in the future, and then they protect themselves from that.
Here's the thing. It's better ultimately, and I say this in a way that hurts. It's better for us that they do it as
Mm.
well. And you're probably saying, dumpster boy, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not better for me. It could be $200+ more. That's not better for me. Not better for my finances. But the truth is, it is. Because if they were to say, hey, this first initial batch, we were able to get in before the tariffs. These are going to be 450. Once these are out, 700, baby.
Yeah,
The
yeah, like the US
uproar
launch edition or something like that. Project Scorpio.
the uproar, right? The uproar as like consumers, we would go to the streets if they pulled some shit like that. Here's the thing
Yeah.
though, Jake, I'm gonna throw this out there.
Uh-huh.
The Nintendo Switch could, in theory, save the United States.
Yeah.
And that would be if they come out and say, hey, folks, we want to let you know the Nintendo Switch is $450. However, the president of the United States doesn't understand how things work and is trying to cause global chaos. And because of
Yeah.
that, he's enacted all of these tariffs, and we're going to break down why it costs what it now costs, and it's $700. And if you want to
Yep.
be upset, we want you to be upset too, because we want to be able to sell you this, but we can't sell you this for $450 anymore. We can't literally do this. We will go under. It's
Yep.
$700. If take your anger out on that fat orange guy in the big
Yep.
White House in DC. And then the people just go to the streets and are like, what the fuck? I can't play Donkey Kong? You fucking, and then it just it
Yeah,
is just
absolutely.
swarms, full revolution, all because of the Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Revolution, if you will,
Right. Yeah.
which
I'm
was the code
assuming.
name for the Wii, I
Oh,
think.
okay. I thought it was a
The
piece of like
Nintendo
lost
Revolution.
Nintendo tech that was like the Tony Hawk
No, I'm pretty
skateboard for the
sure.
Wii.
It might have been. Well, Project Dolphin was the Nintendo Dolphin was the GameCube, and then I'm pretty sure Nintendo Revolution was the Wii, which is fucking perfect.
That's
God, I
great.
love that so
Yeah.
much.
That's
I got some
yeah. I
more
mean, look.
pricing things.
Yeah. Hit me.
It's interesting. So they have have you heard about the way that they did the pre-orders, or they registered for pre-orders through the like My Nintendo
The
website, where you
loyal,
need to
yes,
have
loyalty
like where you,
first. Yeah.
exactly. So you had to have your year. Apparently the only way that you are able to get in the UK at least, so we're assuming they're going to follow suit in the US, the only way that you can currently order the GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription is for people that have pre-ordered via My Nintendo their Nintendo Switch. So that's the only
So
way to get that.
fucking, so fucking
Yeah.
skeevy.
Yeah.
This
And
is
then
Yeah. Do you want to get to the next skeevy thing?
no,
'Cause I have
go, because it's a little bit different. It's GameCube related, but it's not price related. Hit me with the
oh,
skeeves.
I'm gonna hit you with the skeeves. At a certain point, we're gonna talk about charging $10 for a video game,
We're so close.
and I just feel like we are. Nintendo is such a crux because like they're so close to being able to do the best thing ever and to be the coolest company to ever exist, but man, they just want your money more. There's no
Yeah.
limit to the amount of money that I think Nintendo could make and be happy with. And it hurts to say, but like this is just like I think the downside of just humanity is
Yeah.
this never ending need to be the richest or the sexiest or the most powerful or the I don't know, maybe in
Or all.
someone's world the most greased up. you know? That's great stuff.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
my fucking world, and it's you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Thoughts? All right, the GameCube games were confirmed for launch on the 3 big ones that they've kind of showed off at these press events. F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2 with Link, and Wind Waker. There was like some stuff that came out where the US version had Mario Strikers on there as like a selectable game for these playable demos, but that will not be available at launch. That and Pokemon and the other games that they showed kind of on that carousel are a little further down the line. I got a boring one for you.
I love those.
NVIDIA DLSS confirmed for Switch 2 by NVIDIA themselves. Wow. What do you think DLSS is?
Dick sucking.
Dick lifting super suck.
It's DLSS, not D. Remember when you were a kid, you were like, "Oh, what type of internet do you got? You got wired up? What's it? You got
DSL,
wired or wired up? Fuck, what is the word?
Broadband, dial up.
You got dial up, or you got DSL? Like, what's DSL? Dick sucking lips.
The dick sucking lips. Oh yeah.
DLSS. You know what? Maybe in a future world, I'll be sitting there, probably on the shitter, probably just doom scrolling.
Someone in chat is typing out what DLSS is right now, and I'm pretty sure it's like digital something super skip. It's something about frame rates. I think it's like I think it makes things look prettier using some kind of like AI or something like that smooths shit out, so it looks like 120 frames even though it's only 90 frames. Some bullshit like that.
Right.
That nobody cares about. Super scaling. That sounds right.
Super scaling.
You're a shard holding it, keeping us honest in chat. We love to see it.
Yeah.
Very good job, Spotlight Games Pod chat. Okay, I got the pricing situation. Nintendo has doubled down on their pricing. What they're calling adjustable pricing for $80 for your Mario Kart, $70 for your Donkey Kong, $10 for your Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. And their thought process is, we want to look at the development costs, we want to look at the quality of the product, and they want to charge accordingly. Thoughts and opinions, Dumpster Boy. Raise your voice when you say this to me. I want you to raise your fucking voice.
Jacob. I'm assuming your full name is just Jacob.
Oh, it's Jacob.
Can I tell? I'm gonna give a secret to the audience, and we're not gonna spoil it tonight.
No.
I have known Jake now for months. Probably pushing close to a year, I think. Getting close to it.
I think so. Yeah.
I still don't know Jake's last name. I still have absolutely
the fucking lizard king.
idea what his last name is. I'm shocked. I'm learning today first live that his full name is first name is Jacob.
Yeah, that's exclusive. That's an exclusive drop here in the middle of Spotlight Games. If you made it 48 minutes into this thing, you get the scoop.
I'm gonna do the best impersonation of your mom. It's like, Jacob.
Jacob, you come home right now.
So here's the thing. This is a slippery fucking slope. And I get the concept and I get the idea of being like, yeah, just like everything else, if it takes more time, it takes more energy, it takes more this, it takes more that, we are obviously going to charge more because that's how everything else functions. And I guess to some degree, there's a logic there.
Sure.
My problem is that when you do that, you're doing two things. There's two things that come to mind that I think are egregious and heinous. The first is you are segmenting your audience by saying, hey, you want to play Mario Kart? Guess what? Instead of maybe getting 2 games this month, now you get 1.
Right.
Some people, this might be the only game you get for a few months. Okay? So we're segmenting the audience by saying you must prioritize spending more money on this particular game that you could, or, hey, look, it's okay if you can't afford this. Go play our $10 welcome pack. You're going to get no enjoyment out of it. Stupid as shit, but it only costs you $10, you fucking nerd. So you got that. I think the biggest problem is that when you do that, now what's going to happen to the market? The market is going to become a dangerous fucking place where all of a sudden your Mario Kart's $80. Let's be honest. We just set the precedent. For a fucking fact, GTA 6 will be $100+ base. $100+ guaranteed.
Yep.
What says PlayStation from coming in and saying, hey, this game's pretty big. It's Knack 3. Yeah. Also $80. No one's gonna pay fucking $80 for Knack 3. What's gonna happen is you're gonna have developers who are gonna come in and say, hey, this janky ass piece of shit game that you could beat in 5 hours is now gonna cost you $100. We just took $100 from you. And so we get into a place where we start to like set and one might say, like, okay, well, this is good because the developers, we can get fewer teams are going to be laid off if we can do. That's not going to fucking happen.
Well,
they're still
it gets
going
scary
to
there.
We're still going to lay underperforming developers off just because this Last of Us Part 3 makes Sony $5 billion. Doesn't mean because they're charging $120 for it, doesn't fucking mean that they're going to save Firewalk with that extra money.
Right.
No, because there's not enough fucking money to ever be made.
The thing that really scares me when you say that is like, what about situations where it was the internal team's fault that development went long? Like, what if it's a skull and bones type situation? Like, I think in that situation, Ubisoft knows that they can't charge more than $70, but I could picture things going awry and this game has an 8 or 9 year development cycle and they go, we'll just charge $120 for it. And then they get to that thing and they go, well, okay, your game is done. And we were saying 120 the whole time. And this is feeling like a $90 game. What the fuck do we do? Do we rip off our consumers? It adds this new layer to development, and I don't even know what department is like in charge of like pricing, marketing. I don't even know. Like usually this is just such a given thing that now I feel like it's this whole extra situation for developers and I guess publishers are gonna have a hand in this too.
Oh yeah,
to fucking worry about, and I think it's gonna get messy as fuck.
Correct, and you're right. And the thing is, and this is something. When I was younger, I was an anarchist. Set the whole fucking thing on fire. Who fucking cares?
Right.
One thing I've realized as I've gotten older, and it's not because I've gotten really much smarter. Probably, if anything, I've just gotten dumber. Definitely more broken.
Same.
But I've also become more aware of how nuanced every single aspect of the world is. You can't just set things on fire. It's reactionary and it's an immature take. And doing what Nintendo is doing is essentially setting a very meticulously put together and very, very, very brittle relationship between how the video game market works and how consumers function as well. And I know that there's always going to be shakeups, and shakeups make things happen, and shakeups make things better, and shakeups make things worse, but there's got to always be shakeups. This is a shakeup in which you're taking a very, very, very brittle ecosystem of like, things are not great. We all know they're not great. And you're adding an extra layer now to make an already complicated system much more convoluted.
Yep.
EA, almost guarantee you it will be EA.
Yeah.
EA is going to release a game at a price that is exorbitant. You are going to
and
pay
it's
that
gonna be
price.
fucking FIFA or Madden. Like they are going to gouge those customers that they have monopolies on now.
And you are going to pay that price. And you will realize that there's a level beyond buyer's remorse. And when that happens, there's going to be a moment where everyone looks at what's happening and they go, fuck, we broke it. How do we fix it? And I could tell you right now, when you break something that is focused solely on making as much money as humanly possible,
Yeah.
The attempts to fix it will only make that worse.
I can see that being
And
the case.
it's going to be where every little thing will be nickeled and dimed. We're going to get to a part where maybe Steam announces that, hey, you know what? You only have to pay $5 for this game if you play an hour of it. But if you play 2 hours of it,
Right.
you owe us 15. And if you put, there's going to get to a certain point where Path of Exile 3 is going to say, hey, well, maybe that's not necessarily the one that works since it's a free game, but like Diablo 5, right? Let's say Diablo 5 comes out and they say, hey, you've put in 150 hours into our game. Pony up. You can't play anymore unless you give us
if you want
another
to keep
$50.
going.
If you want to keep going, you got to give us more money because you're
Your
getting
World of Warcraft subscription is 30 days or 150 hours. And if you want more, you got to pony up. Yeah.
This is where we're going, and it starts with slippery fucking slopes like this, where you start
from Nintendo,
which is the people who honestly I would not expect it. I would have put this onus on Microsoft. Or not PlayStation, Sony. 100% Sony. No, sorry. I said
too.
Microsoft.
Okay, yeah.
This
I'm
is
with
Sony.
You.
This is a Sony
I'm with you,
thing.
yeah.
How Nintendo
it does feel like they
here,
would pull that trigger on like Last of Us 3 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, we got them by the balls. Let's fucking yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a fucking situation.
Bad.
And then listen, that's only one part of it. The other part is the pack-in situation, and I'll take the rant on that one because I feel like I'm the sucker who's in for $10. $10 does seem a little bit too much. It does feel like it should be a pack-in. I'm going to pay for it because I'm going to make content out of it, and I'm going to supply it to people that aren't willing to pay that. I think it will be interesting for a stream. These people gave away Wii Sports for free. They used to pack in Tetris with their fucking Game Boys. Like, it is understandable if they want to start charging, but fuck, man, at least make it like a fully featured game. This is just a tech demo. It really hurts. It does hurt. It's tough to see, and it is talking to Swanky Joinkers about it. Swanky Joinkers drop. Death by 1,000 cuts is what this all kind of feels like. Is like in an isolated circumstance, maybe they get away with this, but with the increase of the price and the Nintendo Switch 2 editions and all of these little things that keep on popping up about this, it starts to hurt worse and worse and worse. And instead of it being its own problem, it is just the icing on the cake of something that is a much bigger situation. But I don't know. Again, twitch.tv/JakeTwitch, we'll be playing that shit for sure.
I mean, I'll tune in. I'll tune in and be in the audience ranting or something, probably.
I got some lighter-hearted things. Ready?
I'm glad because I'm like, Jake, I think I've maxed my energy of hate. I got
a little bit more hate for you.
Okay. Well, I could probably start on this girl a little
bit. yeah, start mustering up a little fucking hatred in your heart.
Hold on. Serious Chart in the chat. Wait, is Dumpster Boy wearing Walton Goggins goggle glasses? Yes. Yes, I am.
Damn right.
You're fucking right.
Damn right. This episode brought to you by the fucking JakeDumpin duo. JakeDumpin Goggin.
Woo. Well, hold on. What if we're like JakeDumpin TM sponsored? Brought to you by Walton Goggins. That's our fucking pitch wherever we go.
I'm sure they'll fucking love that. Yeah, we sent these two Jamokes goggle glasses, and they won't stop fucking talking about it in their promotional materials.
Hold on, Q. Is it legal? Is it legal for us to make merch that just says brought to you by Walton Goggins goggles?
Yeah, I think they'll like that for sure.
They'll love that.
I got Hades 2 is a Nintendo Switch 2 console launch exclusive. I like that. The original Hades 2 launched on Nintendo Switch exclusively as well. It was PC game too, but didn't hit PlayStation or Xbox until after the Switch. So that's kind of nice. Oh, I'm all out of cool, lighthearted news. There will be no Hall effect.
Wow, that was
no
really
Hall effect. No Hall effect thumbsticks on the Joy-Cons, but there's no Hall effect on the fucking the other retail Joy-Cons either or anything like that. But again, I get that maybe they wanted an overcorrection because of all the Joy-Con drift issues that we had there, but just a matter of fact type thing, I suppose. Here's one. Confirmed, no achievement system for the Nintendo Switch 2. That feels like a fucking miss.
Why?
I know.
Why?
I don't know. I don't even care about them, but it just feels weird at this point to have another console come out. And like at some point, they've talked about this. There's been a table of executives, and Miyamoto pulls his balls out of his out of the bottom of his boxers. He drops his pants to his ankles, and he goes, "Look how long my balls are," and he rests them on the table. And he goes, "We don't need achievements with balls like these."
100%.
And I think that's how it goes.
Jake, did you see what's happening in the chat? Do you see what's happening in the chat right now?
What do I see here?
See what Rabbit's up to?
Oh, a little fucking subby sub. Not so bad, Rabbit. We love to see it.
Look at you go.
We love to see it. What an icon.
You know, the achievement thing to me, and I get it. I know exactly what they'll say when someone presses them. They're going to go, well, it's because we don't want to alienate the Nintendo Switch 1 games that won't come packaged with them. And since we can play both games, shut the fuck up. PlayStation 4 retroactively put them on big titles. And then also said, or sorry, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3 did not launch with achievements. It was later down the line they brought achievements in. Then they said, hey, we're going to retroactively add achievements to some of the older games. Just fucking do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking do that. Do you know what one of the biggest reasons why I tend not to play games on the Switch?
No
the achievement system. There's no achievement. It really is. Even Steam and Microsoft, I will actively try to do things to get achievements because I like the meta.
I get it. And it fucking tickles the brain. There's a night when you get that little sound, you fucking accomplish something. It's nice. Rabbit's calling us out. You gonna read it, pussies? Every night while I'm here at Disney, I hear Goofy whispering in the night. And then there's a Goofy quote. Well, let me see if I can get my Goofy accent down. Let me get it. Sora. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna yuck your ass. How?
Brought to you by Walton Goggins Goggles.
I got my Goofy's okay, but I got a great Mickey. We have to do it together for all of our friends' sake. Is my mic cutting out, or can you hear everything?
No, you're great.
Oh, it's good. Oh, welcome to Spotlight Games Podcast. We really appreciate you guys watching, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind bending over and holding open your asshole for us so we could fuck it.
You know, there he is in the chat. I was wondering when Patrick was gonna pop back in, like, guys, you're ruining my show. You know what? We've been doing it all night, buddy. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got some more headlines for you.
Ruining our show. Our shows. Okay. I think when this happens, these moments where we break and we say things like and stuff like that, it makes the show better.
I do too. I accepted this gig.
Right? It's like, we always laugh like that. It's like such a great dichotomy that Patrick and I have, because every once in a while we'll be doing something. And I play he plays the straight man so well that every once in a while we'll do something and he'll go fucking unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, like when he showed up the other night not wearing a shirt, it is like
so good.
Peak, because you never know when it's gonna come.
Yeah, there is something about it. Like, you and I are kind of on all the time. Like, you expect at least once per conversation or show that we're going to go off the rails and I'll talk about holding open your own asshole or something like that.
Correct.
But yeah, Patrick's he has a little bit of like, I don't know, he holds it back and then brings it out at the right time. It's a comedic timing.
When he pulls it well. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just jerking that. He's not here. We're just jerking him off in real time.
Correct. He's here in spirit.
He's here in
All
spirit.
right, I got two more for you, and then one
Two
of them
more.
transitioned to something a little wild. Nintendo
All right.
Switch pre-orders delayed in the U.S. We already covered that, but what if I told you they were delayed in Canada too because of the U.S.?
God
Did
damn
you catch
it.
this today?
No.
Yeah, they're also not
Fuck.
opening tomorrow. They said we want to bring it in line with the US pre-orders, so the North American pre-orders won't begin until further notice. So Canada just gets fucked because we're getting fucked. LOL.
What if
All right.
I'm worried now that Canada is going to invade the US because of this?
I would for sure.
Here's the thing, like I really think that people underestimate. They're always like, "Oh man, we're not worried about video gamers because we got guns." Like, here's the thing, I you look at like all the horror stories of the crazy shit people do. Most of them gamers.
Gamers.
I would be less scared of like some redneck in the boonies with a shotgun than I would
Yeah.
just like one dude in his mom's basement with a wireless keyboard.
Look at every oh, maybe this is not the right road to go down.
I have a feeling it involved the word schmool and the word schmooter.
Yeah. I don't want to say it out loud, but let's just say it rhymes with cool cooter.
Yeah. Yep.
And how they all had Counter-Strike 1.6 on their computer at one point. All right. Now, Nintendo refuses to say who is developing the Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bananza, which is pretty standard Nintendo fare. We've talked about that. But obviously, we're not stupid. It's the Mario Odyssey team because you'd have to be blind not to see the influence there. Now, I want to talk to you about spoilers. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to you about leaks and spoilers. I have two leaks to talk about two first-party Nintendo video games that were leaked by an official Nintendo international account who fucked up and put some of the wrong official art up on their website briefly, which was captured by astute viewers. Do you want to talk about this?
I do.
Okay, so I am going to start this now. I am taking the timestamp for this. That will be in the thing. We talked about that already. And I will make sure that is in the YouTube description as far as the start and end time for these safety of these spoilers and leaks. I will also have a ticker, a banner going on the screen the entire time. And that banner will come down only once we are done talking about these. And then last but not least, your podcast, your little podcast information with the timestamps. We'll have that as well. So we're gonna jump in on these leaks and spoilers. One of them is bigger than the other. The first one is they put up I want to say it was Brazil. I think it tends to be Brazil. I don't know why I know that, but they put up some artwork of the map for Mario Kart World that included Rainbow Road. Of course it did. Of course it did. I don't think that's revolutionary here, nothing too crazy there, but there's one that is significantly larger for Donkey Kong Bananza. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. So this is fun too. There's some fun theory crafting we're gonna have here. Yeah, you a Mario Odyssey enjoyer?
I was, yeah. I actually really enjoyed Odyssey.
Okay. You beat it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll be able to have a pretty cool conversation about this. So have you seen the Donkey Kong Bananza? You have like a little homie who lives on your back sometimes. It's like a little purple rock.
Yeah.
And he can like sing sometimes and shit like that. Well, in the key art that was leaked, that rock in the key art, the official art that we've all seen everywhere, is not a rock. It is a young Pauline from the Mario universe. Like not quite baby Pauline, but like a almost like chibi looking Pauline in a younger form. And people are very, very interested in what this means. Cranky Kong is already seen in Donkey Kong Bananza. We've seen him and he looks like the Cranky Kong that we know and love. So the questions become, which Donkey Kong is this? Does our canonical earlier Donkey Kong still exist? Is he the old Cranky Kong? Are we playing as the Donkey Kong that becomes Cranky Kong? And that's why we are fighting Mario for Pauline's honor? Because if it's this Pauline grows up to be the Pauline that's in Mario Odyssey, if these games have shared DNA like that, that would explain why he's angry at Mario trying to steal his fucking girl. But like, Baby Pauline, I think is so cool. This could be either a sequel or a prequel to Mario Odyssey, but it does lend some credence to those games being in the same universe. And I think the cool part about this, the crafting, the theory crafting part, is in some of the gameplay features, the rock has like the ability to sing and match tones and affect the world. And people are starting to think that maybe that rock isn't a rock at all, and that rock is Pauline, or that rock is one of Pauline's forms that she can take via singing. Nobody knows exactly, but what people are starting to realize is the original Super Mario Odyssey trailer had no Cappy whatsoever. There were no transformations showed in that trailer whatsoever, and that is the main hook of the game. Yeah, I think Cappy was in it, but there was no transformations. At no point did he throw the hat onto a Goomba or onto a T-Rex or anything like that. It wasn't until the second trailer until that game's main hook was revealed. So the question is becoming, is there a big secret being held back for Donkey Kong Bonanza? Isn't that fucking awesome?
I gotta love this idea that this is like a prequel. Joe, do we think that this is gonna be like, it's gonna lead us into like the big reveal at the end or whatever is like, and this is how New Donk City was formed? Is like
New Donk City? Yes, I think so.
I mean, it has to be. You know, there's connective tissue there. Like we know
there is.
So
hear me out. Destructible environments. Maybe we're leveling the fucking ground and creating that city. Ooh. Could be like the hub world type of thing where we're getting Pauline to become, because she's the mayor of New Donk City. Mayor.
Correct.
Yeah. God, that scene in Jump Up Superstar scene in Mario Odyssey is like a top 10 video game moments for me.
Oh yeah. Oh, yes.
I love that.
Yes. That is really fascinating. Because we're gonna throw out another thing here, bringing Mario Kart back in. Do we think then, if this is, are we gonna get a baby Pauline? Is she going to show up in Mario Kart?
I think so. I think she's going to be a cornerstone. I love the idea of like getting Pauline back into the limelight a little bit more, not through the Mario series, but via the Donkey Kong series. I think that's really smart. I think that's really, really smart.
You know, maybe this would be one that we do. I mean, maybe you guys already did it. I know you might have done this last one. Have we done a who we want to be in Mario Kart?
No, but spoiler alert, not for this week's drop in drop out, but the next week's drop in drop out is happening the day of the Mario Kart Direct. So not only are we going to break down that Direct in a big way, but the title of that episode is Mario Kart Memories. So we might have some room to theory craft similar to what we're doing here, in addition to talk about our favorite Mario Karts of yesteryear.
Can I just say, you know who I miss? ROB.
Oh man, bring them back. I would love to get one of those for like my shelf behind me.
You know what was like one of the most underrated Mario Kart games? Mario Kart on the DS was stellar.
Yeah.
Absolutely stellar.
I love it so much. I love it so much. It is really good stuff. Cirrus says Pauline has a purple rock bracelet in that key art. Isn't that interesting? Same color as the rock. The plot thickens. I think we're going to have some cool conversations about this game in the future. What do you say we call it there and we'll timestamp it? I'll bring that down.
One more, and we'll do. Would you be disappointed though if you found out you're not playing Donkey Kong in the first 3D Donkey Kong game in like 20 plus years? You would be fine with
because we're playing like as a Donkey Kong. I'd be cool. I think it would be a cool like. I love a game that recontextualizes like what you think about the existing lore type of thing. And if I found out that I was playing as like the Cranky Kong from Donkey Kong Country or something like that, because that's like the whole thing. Like I think original Donkey Kong lore is Donkey Kong Jr. is the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong is Cranky Kong in Donkey Kong Country. And Donkey Kong Jr. from the Donkey Kong Jr. games and like the old Mario Tennis and stuff like that grows up to be the Donkey Kong of major popularity, wearing the fucking necktie, Donkey Kong Country 64, that kind of thing. And I think if we're going another generation, in our Cranky Kong in this game is the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country, and this is a brand new Donkey Kong who is friends with Pauline that ages up and becomes the Donkey Kong again that is Mario's adversary, I think we could be in pretty good shape. I also think, listen, this is maybe so crazy, but I think Pauline and Donkey Kong are not the only two characters from the Mario universe. Donkey Kong, Cranky Kong, Pauline are not the only three characters from the Donkey Kong Mario combined universe that appear in this game. We haven't seen Diddy or any other Kongs, but I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good fucking chance that Mario shows up in this game.
Ooh. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely feel like we're gonna get at least Toad. I feel like if you're gonna
would be
get
so
it,
good.
if we don't get Mario, I think Toad is a good substitute, as like a funny bit that can be. I would vibe
sure. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, timestamp recorded. We love to see it. I'm going to bring that banner down, and I am going to put this banner up because it's time for our news spotlight. I've got 4 little headlines I just want to run through with you, get some quick thoughts from either of us. The Minecraft movie had the biggest video game movie opening weekend of all time. I think it was like more than $300 million worldwide right off Jump Street. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. I was actually talking to my wife about this earlier today, and I was like, it makes total sense for this movie to actually perform better than Mario. I feel like kids today don't have as much of a connection with Mario that we do as adults because we grew up on it. And so it's still in that age where, like, if I had kids at, let's say, like 20, my kid would be 14. So more realistically, had kids a little bit later, my kids would probably be playing fucking Minecraft. I would probably be playing Minecraft with my kids because that would be a connection that I would have with gaming and my children. I obviously don't have kids. Fuck them. Fuck kids.
Yeah.
Fuck
them kids.
I don't want a fucking chicken jockey joke ruining my movie. Okay. I don't even understand what. I don't even know what that means. What is a fucking chicken jockey? Is it a joke in Minecraft?
No, it's just like a character, like a little zombie man rides the chicken, and it's called a chicken jockey. But I think a lot of this is like the Jack Blackification. Ooh, the Jack Black influence of the way that he says words, I think, is just like kind of easily memed. Is what's going on there.
Like when he says, "Let's mine, let's craft, let's Minecraft."
Right, exactly. Like we should make a game called that. I love that part.
I hate movies.
Right. I've heard that.
Did you know I looked up Borderlands the movie? It's still fucking $20 on Blu-ray. I was like, fuck that.
That's crazy. I watched the first 10 minutes of that movie. It sucked. We turned it off.
That's what I've heard. So eventually I'm gonna watch it.
Hell yeah. Marathon reveal this coming Saturday in the early afternoon if you're on the East Coast. April 12th. The Bungie Destiny follow-up rebranding, reimagining of the ancient fucking IP that inspired Halo. We'll see how it goes. Rumors abound of like a fast turnaround between the gameplay reveal and us being able to play it ourselves. I don't know. Maybe the beta opens up on Saturday. Who could tell? Us in the future will be able to tell.
So did it?
You give a fuck about that?
Did this start as a leak, and then it was made like a full announcement, or was the announcement made before the leak?
Just a full announcement. They started like a I forgot what they're called, but one of those stupid little fucking games where people were like trying to decipher a code together.
So the leak part was that people started to be, it like popped up on the Microsoft store, I believe, and someone was like, you can pre-download the beta. So like, I was curious about which came first in that one, but still, I mean, honestly, Bungie,
I'm pretty sure it was the announcement. Yeah, I think it happened at the same time. They like, I'm pretty sure they gave it a store page alongside the announcement, and then on Xbox you could download something pre-install, and then people just kind of like were interested in that. I think like Tom Henderson or something was making some faces online.
Do you think we'll get a beta day and date?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
Think so?
Yeah, I think I talk about this all the time, but I think the biggest fucking miss that nobody has capitalized on or not capitalized on well is the fucking Apex Legends trick, man. They're like, hey, by the way, we have a brand new silky fucking smooth, ready to go battle royale set in the Titanfall universe available now. And they just had like the illest launch ever. That game just fucking worked. Everybody and their mother could download it for $0. And they paid out the ass to make sure that every big streamer was playing Apex Legend that day or that week. Everyone had different fucking deals. It is the smartest launch ever. And it's like 7 or 8 years ago, and no one's been able to replicate that yet. Like, how are they fucking that up? It's such an alley-oop.
I think because people want to make money, and I think that's the hard part. Is it?
Yeah,
it's right.
but
It's like we're not going to take
Apex made a lot of fucking money.
That's true. I
don't know.
You know, I'm torn on this one. Jake.
Yeah.
I feel like we will. I don't think we're going to get. I think it might be a beta. My thing is like this is what I think is the hardest part specifically about this about Marathon. I worry that if they shadow drop, no one will be able to play this game because the servers will not be able. They will always, for some reason, they always undershoot what they think the servers can handle.
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna, and then it's gonna be even worse optics because you can't even fucking play the game. And right now, Bungie does not need bad optics. This needs to go.
They need this to be a home run,
right? So I don't know. Part of me feels not feeling it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Speaking of shadow drops, though, what a fucking what do you call that? Segue. Oblivion shadow drop imminent. Like by the end of the month, we will be playing the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered. Here, I don't give that much of a fuck about Oblivion. I don't think you do either. I'm just gonna ask you right now, one word answer. Are we playing Oblivion remastered by the end of the month? No. Okay. I like that.
I've been
Sonic Rumble.
No. Hold on. I've been sold this bill of sale for too long, Jake. We're not getting this game. It's a fucking lie.
I get it. I got Sonic Rumble coming out May 8th. Now, fun fact. I played the fuck out of this game like a year ago. They let me in on like a creator beta, and I played it on my iPad and streamed it through a series of tubes and wires. I hooked up my iPad to my computer and was able to do it. But it's launching on Steam, Android, and iOS. It's been available in limited release in some countries for a while. This game is free-to-play Fall Guys, but with Sonic characters, basically. And honestly, way better than it has any business being. Very, very kind to the extended Sonic lore and fandom. Lots of obscure characters and costumes to unlock, and some really fun mini games that are faster and more entertaining than you might think. I had a blast playing that. I am very excited for May 8th, and I think that it might be a very fun group stream for the Drop In Dropout Squad or Spotlight Games or JK Games, just because I think we can party up into like a group of 4 and go out there on a rampage and score some fucking coin. You know what I'm saying?
I like the sound of that. Can I play as Blue the cat?
Oh, you're talking about Big the cat, and you absolutely can. And I love it because all of the characters are so small, and Big the cat is obnoxiously large, and he still does all the things. It's so good. It's so good.
If we do this, you have to promise me that you'll do your Big the cat impression the entire time.
Oh, good. You know I will. Cayman, thank you for sticking around so long. I told you this would be an hour. We're at an hour 23 right now. What if I just invited everybody to join the Discord? We got a Spotlight Games Discord. We got a Drop In Dropout Discord. Why don't you just use your adult gamer's intuition and figure out how to join one of them? The best place that I can direct you as a whole for everything we do under this umbrella is dropindropoutpod.com. It'll get you to Spotlight Games. It'll get you to all of our individual pages. You can check out some dumpster dives and some Save Trash Cinema right from that link. Find us wherever we are. Cayman, tell people specifically where to find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at the Dumpster Boy on all socials. We got short form videos and video reviews up on socials on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel with some long plays of some dumpster dives and some short form reviews. We got a review coming up for Hidden Cat Outlaws, probably gonna be dropping tomorrow. I would say that'll be out. But like I said, you're gonna find me at the Dumpster Boy. And Sunday, Jake, you believe it? We
Oh,
are going
baby.
to do indeed the Nun Holy Sexy Nun Sexy Subathon stream. So please come and support me because I need money to
Oh, yeah.
pay for lots of medical bills and bad choices that I've made elsewhere in life. So come there, watch me dress up like a nun. I will do something probably stupid on stream. That's typically the MO.
Oh, yeah.
And then just yeah, it's just gonna be gross. We're just gonna be disgusting human beings. But what else is new?
Hell yes, brother. I can't wait. And you know I'm gonna be there in that audience making it happen. I am Jake Twitching on all platforms. That's hard for some people. So why don't you just go to amazingstreamer.com for all of your Jake Twitching needs, or just drop in dropoutpod.com. That'll get you to amazingstreamer.com. You can click links and just go in circles all day long if you so desire. Everything all leads back to the same places, baby. Shout out Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses for hooking us up with not one but 2 free pairs to hold down the fort and taking care of my sickly buddy over here. Cayman, thanks for spending time with me. Let's wave at the camera until the stream ends.